All right, we good. We on. All right, bear with us, guys. Welcome to the Candy's Ice Cream channel. Today we're gonna have a great guest. Today it's going to be an interview with Jimbo, as we call him, and we're gonna be talking about how to be a successful ice cream man. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be interviewing different ice cream truck drivers and bringing on different people that's actually experienced with the business. So this man, he's been in the business for over 50 years. This man has experience with having multiple ice cream trucks. He's had over 30 ice cream trucks. He's also been in the business with other people. So further ado, I'm gonna bring him on. Mr. Jimbo.
How you doing, man?
How's it going, Jim?
Good, good. You see I got my blue bunny outfit on. I don't got the cotton tail, but I'm the blue bunny man. I'm the blue bunny man in Dayton, Ohio, and you're the ice cream man in Cincinnati, Ohio, right?
Right.
Cool beans.
All right, so to get started, we want to get the people acclimated to, your story, how you got into the business and everything. So for the most part, if you want to start off, telling the people what got you into the business, how did you, even know about ice cream and things of that nature, and just basically walk them through the whole details.
Okay. Well, I am 67 years old. I've been doing this since high school. So yeah, you're pretty correct. I did it kind of part-time in high school. My dad had an ice cream truck when he was raising up the family. I won't go into that whole long story, but I was around it a little bit, and he was into law enforcement. And he said, "Hey, I think I'll get an ice cream truck and do some charitable events with the kids and all in the late 60s." And so I got familiar with it there. Then, of course, I got towards high school, and I thought, I can't just work a job to make money and, go to college and all that, because quite frankly, I was poor. So my dad came down and said, you're not that smart. Real nice advice from dad, He said, so we're going to put you together an ice cream truck, and that way you can afford to go to college and get smart. And so I got a truck together and went out and jingling. While my buddies were out on their boats and fishing and camping, I was like, okay, weekends were made, not for Michelob, for me, but for ice cream, because that's when the big money's there. And so I did that for a good long while. Of course, went to college, got an engineering degree, automotive engineering, so I'm pretty good with tools. And off and on worked. And then when people or companies would lay us off, I'd say, you know what? Let me dig out my ice cream truck and go sell some ice cream this summer, because I'm not just going to sit around.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I did there. And then I had an opportunity, to travel from Michigan to Ohio with a friend and business partner. So I went and started adding trucks to my fleet. I had just one truck to start with, which my buddy business partner said, "Hey, listen, I want you to train people." So I went ahead and put together a little list of kind of common sense things, but sometimes common sense isn't common action or common knowledge. Just because it's common sense doesn't mean it's common. So I do the basics, and I take people and ride around with them and, show them what to do, what not to do. Sometimes I just sit in the back and make notes, and at the, after several hours, I would, critique what they're doing good, what they're doing incorrectly. And, so I did that. I'd still drive my ice cream truck. I got to the point where I was helping someone with their trucks, and then I just had my one truck. And that was in, what would that be? Early 80s. Yeah. And so I got a couple more trucks. So actually for me, it was out of necessity because, I needed to make some money, and I I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. It was more like a copper spoon. But yeah, I went ahead and said, I'm going to put this ice cream truck together. But everyone wanted to drive it. Well, someone scratched it. And I'm like, no, I'm not loaning out my truck no more. See, if you have one truck and that one gets wrecked, you're out of business until you fix that one. So I put together a couple more little AM Generals, which are the postal trucks, 1973, 74. And, my brothers and sisters wanted to drive. Some friends wanted to drive. So I ended up with like 5 trucks right out of my house, plus, of course, my truck. And quite often I would go out, sell ice cream. Everyone would come in and get the truck, and I was off and running. Then, of course, I proceeded to go to Akron. I had an opportunity to go there with a business venture, and I took 6 trucks. The other guy had 12 trucks, and we split the expenses equally. And I started becoming better and better at it. And I learned as I went. A lot of times you get into something, you know enough just to be dangerous. So unless you know what you're doing, like mechanically, be careful. So, you've got to work on your strengths, work with your strengths, and manage around your weaknesses. So this ice cream business is 2 industries combined: transportation and refrigeration. And you have to have control of both of those. Your truck's got to run, it's got to be safe, it's got to go, and it's got to stop. You also need various things, but I won't get into, but lights, you got to have music. That's your advertising. If you don't have music, you don't have advertising. Okay. And now you got a truck. Good. Now you need refrigeration. Back in the days, we would use dry ice. Then they started making cold
dry ice.
Dry ice. Yeah. I always ask people, I always ask people, if I put a bunch of dry ice in a pool, can I swim without getting wet? I don't know. Never figured that one out. But anyway, dry ice would keep the stuff good and frozen. And but it got expensive. And then they started coming out with what's called cold plate freezers. Now, cold plate freezer is kind of like, you have a picnic basket and you take those little blue things and freeze them. They got like some solution in them. You throw it in your picnic basket and it keeps your food from spoiling. Well, that on a large scale is what's called a cold plate freezer. You plug it in at night, you unplug it, and you run all day. The ice cream stays rock hard, minus 15 or more. So you got good ice cream there. So, ice cream is transportation and refrigeration. So, the best thing to do is get a good freezer right from the get-go. That we don't have to work on them. Myself, I'm able to work on stuff. So I love buying junk. And, one guy's trash is another guy's treasure. So cold plate freezer might set you back several $1,000s, but it's a lifetime thing. I've had some of my stainless steel cold plate freezers for 20 some years. Wow. And they still, I've done some repairs. I've done some, had to replace a few motors, but, we're talking about 20 of those. And that was a lot of money to spend. So yeah, being good with money, that's another part of this business. Anyway, I got on a tangent there. So the ice cream business
started off, also is like, so when getting back into like what got you into the ice cream business, what pulled you into saying like, hey, I want to try ice cream outside of all other scenarios? Like what made you really say like, this is it? What made you want to stick with this business?
Well, as I mentioned, I wasn't economically disadvantaged. I was just straight out poor. 9 brothers and 3 sisters. There wasn't a lot of extra to go around. So if you wanted something extra, you had to go out and get it. All right. And my dad taught us the work ethic, so to speak. So I did all the things that kids do. I tossed paper, I shoveled snow, I mowed lawns. I did anything that I could make money at legally. Okay. And as a kid, you can do a lot of things that you can't do when you're an adult. So I kind of got the entrepreneurial bug. So once you get it and you realize, because it's a scary thing at first, if you've never done anything like that before, if you didn't start any kind of project, I mean, even a lemonade stand is an entrepreneurial thing. I see them all the time at like garage sales. You'll see them on the side of the road. Don't forget, always buy lemonade from the kids, even if it's lousy. So getting me into it, I had done many, many things. And then as I got older, I'd go to the flea market and hawk some wares and just anything to make some good money. I actually had a little bike shop in my basement. Again, I said I was kind of good with tools even before I went to school for it. So I would fix and sell bicycles, buy junk at the junkyard, sand it down, put it together, sell it. But then I got, the ice cream business again was kind of introduced to me when I was a kid. And it was kind of neat, but I didn't really catch it until I was, in high school, getting ready to go to college. And I was like, okay, I got to make some real money. So I started doing it, and I realized that it's pretty profitable. Now it's a lot of work. It's not like, oh, we work from 9 o'clock till 5 and we're done for the day. No, you work when the sun shines. My days off is when it's either cold, really hot, like 95, 100 degrees, or rainy. Okay, and that's when I do my laundry, by the way. Because you don't have time to do this any other time. It's like my wife hates it when I say, one more thing, one more thing, one more thing. There's never not another thing. You always got one more thing to do. So planning really, really helped. And because I was good at several of those things, this kind of fit into what I needed and wanted to do. And I rarely worked for anybody else. If I was not doing the ice cream business, I'd go to the flea market and sell some stuff, But once I got into it, it was kind of incremental. One thing, I do one truck, and then someone scratched my truck, and I said, well, I'll go down to the post office here. They had an auction. I bought 5 trucks for relatively inexpensive. And, I put 2 up, and I, put 3 aside. Why? What if one gets wrecked? Well, you take all the parts off of one, put it on the other, and you're back in business. So that was another, and it was a key factor in me getting more than one truck. Because you just got one truck, cool. When you step on the truck, you're working. When you get off the truck, you're done. If you have other people working for you, or in life, of course, when you get up and go as one person, you go. But anytime you add someone to that equation, now you've got to wait. You got to wait for them. You got to help them get going. If something happens, you got to go help them out of whatever the bind is. And if it's an ice cream truck, they get a flat tire, you got to run out and fix it. So going from just having one truck to having multiple trucks was a big transition. All right. And so it worked well for me. Bottom line is it's not for everybody. It's not for the faint of heart. You got to have a little bit of a thick skin. There's a lot of things about it. And in fact, I've written some guides to the ice cream business, because I got to the point where, once I got to 20, 25, 30 trucks, you had to have a system. When you got up, you had several things you had to do. And if you didn't do them at a certain time, you had to push them aside and get to the next thing. But training was a big deal. I find that the better people are trained at what to do, how to do, and why to do it. That, by the way, comes from the 7 habits of highly effective people. Knowledge, skill, and attitude. What to do, how to do, and why to do it. Why, I think, is one of the more important things. Because if you know why or want to do, what to do and how to do gets a little easier because you're driven to do something. Anyway, so I got the training going. Actually, when I started training, I just had one page. It was like, here, a couple pieces of notes. Hey, you got to make sure you drive safe. Okay, let's do that. Then when you pull over, greet your people. Find out how much money they have. That way you know what they can buy. Because the kid's got $1 and he wants a face item that's $5. Like, oh, no. Now, don't lead him down the wrong road. Let them know you can get this or you can get that. It's a lot of people skills.
So Jim, I had a question because we was talking about training. How long does it take for somebody to really get the grasp of being an ice cream truck driver? Like, how long would you say is like, okay, I've been driving, for a day or two. Do I got it down packed? What made you know, like, I got this, I'm gonna be an ice cream driver?
Sometimes it's the amount that they make. Now, I was fortunate enough later on to get trackers, so I knew where people were, what they were doing. If they went home and they were sleeping or they stopped by a friend's house, you ain't making no money. If you ain't moving, you ain't making money. But How long does it take for someone to learn the skill? That depends on the person, their ambition, and all that stuff. I learned how to swim. My dad just threw me in the deep end, and that's the way you learn how to swim, But I had some basic, this is what you do, and here's what you do, and then throw them in and see and let them. To learn how to swim, you get someone like myself, or I have several other people that was doing training that had a guide, and they would go over each point, and then you give them a copy of it. You say, here you go. I want you to study this tonight. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning. So I would ride with someone most of the time all day. But if I see they got it, they're driving good, they got the money down, they know what the prices are. Some people use the calculator. A lot of the best drivers, they can do it in their head. They know what you bought. They got it all figured out, and they do everything flawlessly. I'll spend a half a day with them, and then they go out. They come in, and it's kind of like the people that make the most money get out early, and they come in late. They're the first to get their truck, and they're the last one to get in. And they're tired, especially the first few days. And then I talk to them. But some people I had to do advanced training or additional day of training. I would send them with someone else because maybe my way of teaching is a little different than someone else's. But there's some very basic things. People say, what does it take to sell an ice cream? A truck and ambition. That's it. Because you can figure it all out. Okay, how much the product costs? You got a list right here. Can you deal with people? The more extroverted a person is, the better they do. The introverted, quiet, don't say much people, we're not just selling product. We're delivering an experience. And I right on the side of my real fancy truck, it says, we deliver smiles and ice cream one party at a time. And each party, they want to be entertained. Okay. It used to be we sell ice cream one customer at a time, or we deliver ice cream one at a time. And it's a good philosophy. You're going to deliver an experience, and they're going to get an ice cream to boot. Not, they're going to buy an ice cream and have a good experience. Well, is it one or the other? 6 1, half a dozen? Let me say that again. Most of the time, they're looking for their ice cream man or ice cream lady. That is like they own us. It is their ice cream man. And I had, it's so cute. This little girl used to come up, and she would point to her when I'd pull up. Tell her mom, and she'd point at me and go, "That's my ice cream man." I'm like a teddy bear. I'm like, I belong to her. And I would joke with her. I said, "You're right. I'm your ice cream man. What would you like today?" I get right to it. I greet them, and then I get right to it. And sometimes I'll turn and look at the menu board, focus your attention on what you want. So there's a lot of innuendos, but it's pretty simple. It just takes a person that is outgoing and likes people. An old man told me, I'm a farm boy from Michigan. So farmer told me, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do, because I was out there picking up rocks out of the field and making hardly anything. And, I was talking with him. I said, I don't really know what I want to do when I grow up. He says, well, grow up first. Enjoy it while you're here, because you're not young very long. For all of a sudden, you got to be responsible, able to respond, responsible, able. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, here's the formula. Find something you like and you're good at. Because if you like something, you can't do it worth the darn, no one's going to buy your stuff. But find a need and fill it. That's one of them. But you have to like filling that need. So if you find out that's something you like to do and you're good at it, and people either need or want that, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. In fact, if I didn't like doing this business, if I didn't get a real kick out of it sometimes, I wouldn't be doing it anymore.
Okay, on that note, Jim, what would you say would be the most challenging or struggles that you would say somebody have when you get into the ice cream industry or the ice cream business? Like, what are the hardest pain points that you experienced from even your days of remembering, your first truck,
right?
Or just as you continue to progress into the business. So what were some of the hardships that you had to face?
The number one is people.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
dealing with people. Now, I mentioned the other day that I was kind of an introvert, and that blew you away. You're like, "Are you kidding me? You're the most outgoing guy." You know, no, I was an introvert. I was like, I'm going to go work. I'm going to go make money, and leave me alone. I mean, I talk with people if I had to. So it was a struggle to be outgoing, and unfortunately, dealing with some unfortunate people or people that have an attitude. Okay, in college when I was studying business, there was something they said, and I'm sure everyone heard it. Oh, the customer's always right. And I was like the first one to say, hell no, they aren't. They ain't always right, but they are giving you money. So from their perspective or their paradigm, there's a reason why they are the way they are. So you've got to be able to, let it roll off of you. Someone says something unkind. I was in Florida selling ice cream. That's another story, but it was Christmas Day, and I was out there early. But apparently, someone was up really late, got drunk, and they did not like that music. They came out and threw an old grapefruit at my truck.
Mm.
Boom! It hit the truck, and I'm like, I was ready to go out and duke his head off. Then I looked at him. I thought, yeah, he's still staggering. You know, um, what did Jesus say? He's up on the cross. He looks down and said, Lord, forgive them. They know not what they do. Boy, that's my favorite. That's my favorite line. It is. It's like, oh my God, if he could put up with that, surely I can deal with a grapefruit. So, but that was a challenge. So people are a challenge. For every problem, there are a solution. There are solutions. Some are better than others. Some are easier than others. Sometimes you just got to hire someone to fix that part, or you're too busy, you can't do it, or you don't know how. You got to get someone to fix them brakes or do this or do. So the challenge is managing your time, because we all got the same amount of time. I hear that over and over. Yeah, we all got to say how you manage that time is a challenge, especially if you have people that are coming to you and taking up a lot of your time. And most of the time, it's important stuff, and it is important. In fact, that's one of the things my wife said. She goes, "You really listen well to people." I said, "Yeah, I talk a lot too, but I got to figure out what is the problem, what's the solution, what's the best thing they can do." And one of the challenges is figuring out, do they really, really want to know how to do it, or they just want you to do it for them? A great deal of the time, people just, can you do it for me? I can.
Right.
See, that's a question of ability. I can, but I won't. But I'll kind of lead you in the direction to solve your own problem. Because when these people solve their own problems, guess what? Feed a man a fish, they eat for the day. Teach them how to fish, they can feed themselves for life. Ancient Chinese proverb. Yeah, but people are the challenge. The rest of the
So
stuff is planning.
what do you like? How do you schedule your whole day? What does a day in the life of ice cream man looks like for Jim? Like from the moment that you open your eyes to the moment you close them, what is your time and everything? Of what is the day in the life of ice cream man?
Well, when I open my eyes, I say, "Can I just close them for a little longer?" We've all been there. It's like, damn, it was late last night. But yeah, the day start. Well, first of all, my day starts out the night before, because I'll get out a little piece of paper and write the top 10 things I need to do. And then on top of that, there's like, oh, this guy broke a mirror, or this guy's said his tire's leaking. And you write down who, what, when, and where. You got to have like make yourself a little form to say, I've got to do this by this time. And you schedule it. Because if you get to screwing around and wasting time, next thing you know, the drivers are coming in. You haven't checked the oils yet. You don't have their ice cream ready for them. No, no, no. I'm there to serve them, to get them out, because they can't make any money sitting talking to me or standing around waiting for me. So my day consists of getting up, checking the trucks out. Now, when I had a lot of trucks, I had a mechanic to do that, check the oil, do the write-ups, mechanical problems, make sure I've got all the orders that they turned in the night before, and either I put them on a cart or they're ready to go. Because then I know, because they come in at different times. People come in at different times. Mostly you got your early crowd, you got your late crowd, and then you got the crowd in between. They just kind of show up. And I have a time formula. I need you to be here by this time. And then at nighttime, I need you to come in after dark. So it's all a matter of planning more than anything. But all the little simple things like getting up, having your coffee, just having a quiet moment, looking at my list, and then I'll prioritize according to numbers. Sometimes my list was 1 through 10. I'll go right straight to 10 and do that because that's urgent. Okay. Again, back to the 7 habits, they have 4 quadrants. And it's a good book you might want to, and that particular square says it is important and urgent. That's wow, it's got to be done right now. There's another one, important, but not urgent. That's where you want to be. Then you go not important and not urgent. That's just wasting time. Okay, so you got to put those in these little quadrants in your mind at least, and know that this needs to be done important right now. If that person goes out with that tire that's leaking, within 3 hours, you're going to be out changing that tire. So you want to maintain that, get rid of that problem, change the tire, fix it, plug it, whatever. And now that's no longer a problem or a potential problem. See, a lot of people don't maintain their vehicle, even their own vehicle. And then they're wondering why, the transmissions burn up at 70, 80,000. And the mechanic goes, well, when was the last time you changed your transmission oil? Huh? What's that? And it just happens. It just happens. I always say, if everything fails, read the instructions. If everything else fails, read the instructions. And right in the maintenance says, you got to change that transmission fluid, you got to change that oil, rotate your tires. Same thing with an ice cream truck. That's your money. Because the transportation and refrigeration. The refrigeration, you'll know. See, I'll walk around the back of the truck. So I got these little gauges with the probes inside, and it tells me how cold these are. And if it's not cold enough, I'll want to know why. Maybe it's shut off. Well, I'll turn it back on. And if it's broken, I got to fix it. But I want them to be within a certain range. And I got my little checklist. That's another thing. Don't count on your memory once you get beyond 2 or 3 things you got to memorize or think about. You see these waiters come in and they do 5 different orders. They didn't write anything down, but they're that good. They know exactly what you want. They go back there and they punch it into the computer and that comes out perfectly. Now, another person comes out and gives you all the wrong food. Maybe they should write this shit down. So and another thing, a farmer told me, I was listening and, blah, blah, blah. And he said, the shortest pencil is worth far more than the longest memory. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. Write it down. Then you can refer to it. Now we got the phones, we got little, I got a memo thing. I'll write things down to the point where, man, I'm never going to get to the end of this list. But see, I ain't going to run out of things to do. And then I'll copy and paste them back on the top of the list, the priority stuff. You got to prioritize your day, your activities, and still save some time for your family. Your wife will let you know that when you don't spend enough time with her. Either that or put her to work with you, which I did.
That's good. That's kind of segueing into the experience. What is it like even being married, having your wife with you, in the ice cream business? Like, how long have you guys been working together?
Well, they got a saying, happy wife, happy life. So I found out what she likes to do. And when we were dating, she was just coming off the road from being a controller and switching over, hotels. Because when she was in high school and college, she ran some motels locally in Cincinnati. And they said, hey, you want to get on the road and make a lot more money? I mean, they doubled her salary and sent her to, what was it, Louisiana or something? Down there at the, oh my goodness, I can't think of it right now. But up there, and she'd tell me all about Fat Tuesday and all these places she would go to. I says, you mean they sent you on a vacation and paid you for it? Oh man. But she was very ambitious. So it's good to have some differences, okay, and value the differences. But it's good when you both have the same plan. I want to work hard, play hard. I want to save some money because sooner or later I'm going to get old. I ain't going to be able to make money. And I'm going to put off buying that new car till I'm much older. Again, I'm mechanically inclined, so I can go to the auction, buy a bunch of junk, and some of them's going to run good, when I get done with them. But yeah, working with somebody, again, it can be challenging. Sometimes, what was it? My grandfather's second wife, she said that she heard this from some lady. She says, sometimes, it's not 50-50. Marriage is not 50-50. It's like sometimes they need you 80%, and sometimes you need them 80%. So it's not 50-50. Sometimes they have something to do. So you go, I got it, and give me your list. Oh, what do you mean you don't have a list? Well, okay, what am I supposed to do that you were going to do? Oh, I got to do the inventories. I got to call some drivers because I got a couple extra trucks. And, I'll write it down. Again, shortest pencil is far better than the longest memory. But yeah, having compatibility. Okay. So if you're already married, you're at least halfway there. But if you're single, I would make sure you have your business down pat before you get someone that's either going to be lifting you or pulling you down. Okay. One's better than the other, by the way. So, and I'm sure everyone knows that. But yeah, you got to have compatible. You got to have similar goals. You got to know why you're working so hard, because you're not going to work an 8-hour day. I told my wife I was being facetious, joking around and stuff, but I told her, that's it, honey. I'm pooped. I'm only going to work a half a day from now on. That's it. I just can't figure out if it's the first half of the day or the second half of the day. 12, 15 hours, that's a half a day for me. Yeah. So another valuable piece of advice, if you can do it and you can get someone to cover for you, answer the phone, and only come and bother me. Charlie, which is the guy that was in Cincinnati, he says, I tell drivers, if you call me on my phone and it's not important, I'm going to break my phone and you're going to owe me one. But he said, he says, if it ain't melting or on fire, don't call me, man. If it ain't melting or on fire. And if it's a mechanical thing, he had a mechanic, of course. But there's very few things that are actually going to go wrong. Out of any piece of equipment, the car has thousands and thousands of things on it that could potentially go wrong and shut that truck down. I'm amazed that cars don't break down more than they do. But when they're old and they haven't been maintained, you have a recipe for disaster. I've actually been in that situation. I've spent a lot of time running around on service calls. One after the other, like, oh my God. So that winter, I got on it, man. I replaced some radiators, did all the brakes, did all the maintenance. And I had this long list of little things that bothered. Oh, my mirror rattles. Really? If that's the worst thing that happens to you today, you're going to be okay. You know what I mean? I don't got time to put a new mirror on right now. It's rattling. Really?
I got a question on that. So when you look at maintenance, what would a person that's getting into the business, what would be their ideal expense that they usually spend on a year, like in maintenance? What you think, like, what should I be expecting to spend on maintenance in a year?
If you just have one truck and it's a decent truck, probably my business partner said, really, your costs for your ice cream shouldn't be more than 20 or 25% of what you're selling it for. Mm-hmm. And so out of all that money, you're going to add another at least 20% to maintenance and upkeep. Then you got your gas expense. Now that's a pretty big deal. Insurance, okay, and the cost of your products, like I say. So depending on how thrifty you are, how good of a truck, it really varies on the truck. And in fact, one guy had brand new trucks, and I said, man, brand new trucks. I never bought brand new trucks. Half the trucks I bought, they towed in, and then I had to put them together and they drive out of here. I'm like, okay, but that's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. But that's like, I don't know what I spent per truck, maybe $5,000 to $7,000. Now that's not much, but then my wife wanted to buy a really, really nice truck, used. And if you go to her website, which would be shellysicecreamtreats.com, no apostrophe, just shellysicecreamtrucks.com, you'll see a picture of her truck. $25,000 or $30,000 by that time that was on the road. And of course, being a cheapskate, I'm like, man, I could have put together 5 trucks for that price, you know. And but it was a beautiful truck. Have had almost no problems at all with it, you know. And I bought a warranty, so you know I'd bring it in Ford to get something looked at. There was a little vibration in the drive shaft, and I could have climbed under there and put a universal joint on it, but like, nah, I got time for this. Ford came and got it. They picked it up. They fixed it. Had it back that night. You know, so that's the thing. We spent hardly nothing on maintenance for that truck. I mean, I started out, but I replaced the tires. You know, that's about all I put into it. Of course, we wrapped it, made it into an ice cream truck, music box, freezer, all that stuff. And she was, again, happy wife, happy life. You know, she was very happy with that. That is a real. In fact, people look at it and go, wow, that's one word. Wow. I was at a car show with the truck, and this guy come up in a suit, and how can I help you? He's going, I don't get it. Well, all you got to do is order it and you can get it. And I'm joking with him. He goes, no, man, you're selling ice cream out of a truck that is way past. I've never seen an ice cream truck this nice. How much does this cost you? I says, well, you know, I don't talk about that stuff, but it was a lot. And this was actually my wife's truck. So the guy didn't get it that you could make a lot of money and spend a lot of money on an ice cream truck. So, you know, we've had that truck for, gosh, 15 years. Well, how old is it? It's 15. We got it in 18. So do the math. A long time. We got so busy with her special events, we had to buy a second truck, which was a good thing for me because I'm tall and she has a short truck. It's like, oh my God. So yeah. But yeah, how much people can expect to spend if you're frugal and you maintain the truck. See, it's not like, oh, once a year you're going to spend this money. You know, depends on what you need, depends on what you buy. Are you going to buy really good quality parts like from Napa? Or are you going to go to AutoZone and buy the cheap junk? When I buy my tools, I buy at least Craftsman, you know, maybe Snap-on. Rarely will I buy like Harbor Freight or Kmart tools. Because see, that's your money there. You're working on something, you snap a tool, it's like, okay, I'm done with that job until I fix that tool or get another tool. So every once in a while, I just buy 2 of everything. You know why you have to buy 2 things? Mm-hmm. You have one to use and one to lose.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, you got 3 screwdrivers and you got 2 people borrowing them. Well, at least I still got one left. Because sometimes people borrow your stuff and they forgot that they borrowed it. So
yeah. All right. Yeah. So when looking into a season in and of itself, how long would you say usually an ice cream man season usually lasts?
Okay. This is a geographical question as well. So let me cover it from the top of Michigan. You're starting in end of April, May, and you're done at the beginning of September. Absolutely. It gets cold up there. It's a very short season. That's in the summertime. Okay. You know, kids get out of school and stuff like that. And when they're still in school, we get out on the streets before the kids get out of school. So we're hitting the road by 2 or 3 o'clock, unless you got some daycares or something to do early on. But for the most part, when the kids are in school, it's maybe 3 to 6 or 7 when it gets dark. Mm-hmm. And then once the kids get out of school, yeehaw, you can get out at 10 or 11, no later than noon. And then you do your route all day. And then around a little bit after dark. Now, some people stay out after dark, just make sure it's a safe area. Okay. Mm-hmm. My mom used to say, after dark, the devils come out. Okay, well, a few angels are out there too, Mom. But, but now here in Ohio, we get started in early March. I've had a few times where it was like kind of the middle of February, and all of a sudden it's nice and drivers are knocking on my door. I'm like, I'm not ready for this. I want ice cream. I want to go sell. And I made some money. They went out, I mean, I didn't get out 20 or 30 of them. I got out 8 to 10 of them, and they're out there. I said, look, if you start and it's even marginal weather, you got to get out there. So they're the same hours, basically, getting out there by 2:33, staying out. Well, now it's dark at 5:30, 6 o'clock. And then the day gets longer and longer and longer and warmer, and you go at it. And then you're done by, you might go into, October a bit. So basically March to October in Ohio. Now in Florida, it's year round. My friend that lives here in the summertime, man, as soon as it starts getting cold here, he's out of here. I mean, if it's 50 degrees, he's freezing and has a jacket or a coat on. Like, weirdo. But he's used to the weather. He's used to the weather there. I used to take a truck to Florida, and it was a mildly cool day. So I thought, well, I'm gonna go down to the beach and jump in the water. And I got my shorts on and, ready to jump in, and everyone's running around with jackets on, looking at me like I'm weird. No, man, this is good weather to me. What do you mean 45, 50 degrees? It's nice to me. Even 60, a balmy 60 degrees, and everyone's freezing because they're used to warmer weather. So in Florida, it's year round, Okay. So when the summertime gets here, in Florida, it gets a bit hot. But what can people expect? Here in Ohio, I'm on 8 months and I'm off 4.
Okay.
Sure. So I always like to tell people, I work every weekend, so I take that all back in the winter and get 4 months off. There you go. That turns it around for them. They're like, oh, really? Yeah.
So do you think that the market is better in a all year round market for ice cream, or do you believe that the 8 months, 4 months on market is an ideal market to jump in for ice cream? Or or is it about even?
No, it is definitely not even. Of course, when you're working year round, you're making more money because you're working year round. But for me, I think it's good to give them a break. Because, I've had parents come out every day and buy ice cream. I'm like, man, does your husband know this? I'm driving along and I hit an area one time in the morning because I had a truck sitting in. I'll be in by around 1 o'clock. Okay, great. I jump on the truck and I went to this area, which was right around the corner from me. And these streets are like 8 blocks long and 10 blocks wide. And I just go down there and then I'm thinking, okay, it's getting that time. I went home, parked my truck, put a little ice cream in there because I sold quite a bit. And the guy took that truck. So then another person comes in. Oh, I'm not feeling well. I'm like, oh, man, let me eat my sandwich first. So I'd eat my sandwich. I jumped on that second truck and ran down those same streets because it had been 4 hours. This one lady that came out, and that's when the Ninja Turtles first come out. They were $1. Oh, my God. They'll never buy it for $1. Now they're what, 5? Pushing 6? I don't know. But this lady come out. She didn't even pay attention to who it was. I was in a different truck. And I looked at this lady. She's one girl, one boy. Brought them out there. They bought a Ninja Turtle for the second time. They bought one in the morning, bought one in the afternoon. And I'm kind of leaning back, hoping she doesn't notice I'm the same guy. Mm-hmm. And she got the ice cream, went back in the house. And I drove around. Then I brought the truck back. I called someone and say, hey, come on and get this truck. Go out and sell some ice cream. I'll pay you extra. So they came, got the truck. I took a quick nap. And at the time, a girlfriend of mine, she was driving her truck. She goes, hey, it's too hot. I'm really? Okay, I'll take your truck out. So I jumped on her truck, Smurf blue with little Smurfettes on it. That was when the Smurfs were kind of cool. But I went around and I said, I don't have enough time. I had maybe a couple hours left of the night and I can't drive a long distance and then drive back. So I just went to the same damn area. And sure enough, that lady came out and I'm wanting to hide now. I'm like, oh my God, she bought. And at the time, $1 was $1 back then. It wasn't like 50 cents that it is today. $1 back then is now 50 cents. But anyway, or actually, you got to spend a lot more nowadays. But anyway, she came out and bought 2 more. And she didn't even look at me. She just grabbed her kids, 2 hands, hand in hand, went back in the house. I'm like, oh, my God, she spent $6 on her kids. And I'm thinking, does she do that every day? That's a lot of money. So, yeah, they I don't know how that came up, but it was kind of a funny thing. But making money, I think because people get a little bit of time off, when you first go out there in the springtime, they haven't seen you all winter, so they go crazy and buy stuff.
Right.
Then it gets to be like, okay, you got your regular customers. See, that's another thing about being an ice cream person. You got to know your customers, and your customers got to know. I joke with people, as you can tell, I'm kind of jovial, and they know me. They know me as a goofball. And I got a few drivers who are just like that. They do very, very well. Yeah, I got one guy, they call him the ice cream dude, because I was at a picnic with the fancy truck, and someone called, yeah, we've got an ice cream man, like he's got a little Jeep, and they call him the ice cream dude, and I'm like, oh, I didn't say, oh, that's my driver. I just said, oh, he's real nice. Oh yeah, he's real nice. So I got this unbidden comment or reference or statement of his personality and his principles. I'm like, I never have to worry about him. Man, he comes in, gets his truck, goes out. If he's not feeling well, he comes in, he gets his truck, and he goes out. If he's feeling great, he comes in, he gets his truck, and he goes out. And he does better than anyone. Why? Because he's really good with the people. He jokes with them, and he has a regular route. I don't care if you send 10 trucks there. He's going to have his regular people. They're waiting for their ice cream man. Again, that's like the kid that pointed at me and said, that's my ice cream man. It's like, oh my God.
Do you have
Now I'm a puppy.
Do you have a memorable ice cream guy that used to drive for you? Or do you have anybody that you would say this is my top or top 3 ice cream truck drivers of all time? Like, who would you say? Or you don't have to really give out names, but
Right.
a description of the type of person or driver they were.
Well, I prefer to give you their name and their address and their phone number, and I want everybody to call them. No, just kidding. No, people come and go. A lot of people stick around. This is kind of like they really enjoy doing this. And because they enjoy doing it, they get into it. They joke with the people and stuff. I've got several dozen great ice cream people. Of course, I've been doing this a really long time. When you have 20 or 30 trucks, that's a lot of people. But there's some people that you don't have to manage. You say hello, you might talk with them a little bit at night and stuff. But for the most part, some of them I'm running in and out getting ice cream for people. And then I look out there and I go, oh, Mike's truck's gone. Oh, this guy's gone. Well, damn, you didn't even say bye. Bye. There goes the ice cream man. One of them would leave, and quite literally, he'd always say, "This is what the ice cream man looks like when he's going to make his fortune. Bye." And it's just the way he did it was just hilarious. But I found actually that the women or girls that got into this business that really liked it, they did like 20-30% better than the guys. Why? Well, of course, most of them were cute, and they had good personality, and they're motherly. Some of them didn't even have kids, but they just loved kids, and they would, give the kids an extra special measure of attention. And in fact, sometimes if I send 2 trucks to a route, I'll send a guy in the morning, a girl in the afternoon, or vice versa. And it works out real well. And they both do kind of equally well, but pretty much the ladies, although they don't stick around and I don't want to say they're not as tough as men, it's just this is rough. You really have to have, a tough skin to do this. But the girls, they take it so easily because they love kids, if they love kids. Sometimes you get somebody, girl or guy, that just don't like kids, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. And I can tell you, if you don't like kids, don't do this. If you haven't been married and are deciding on whether you want to have kids, drive an ice cream truck for at least a couple, 2-3 months, and you might make up your mind one way or the other. I'm not advising you either way. I'm just saying. I joked about that. People goes, hey, that's a good idea. And I'm like, not really. Because if you like kids, you like kids. Some people, they like kids, they just don't want them around them. It's good when they're like on TV.
So we're going into the final, portion of the interview. I wanted to run off like some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
Things that an ice cream driver should be into. So, what would you say the top 3 memorable key strategy points you think when somebody get into the business, staying in business, and being able to last, going into the future?
The biggest thing people have as far as lasting, first of all, you got to make money. If you don't make no money, you're not going to last. People sometimes call me, my drivers will call me, I'm not making any money. And I hear, I don't hear your music. Turn that music up. If you're not making money, and I say, pull over, turn that music up, let it play. And sure enough, within seconds, they go, hey, I got to go. I got a customer. I'm like, there you go. Pull over and let that music play. That's real good advice. You gotta give them time to get their money. And you got to kind of think, they hear my music. They're running to mom. Mom said, go to dad. Now they got to run out to the garage, get some money from dad, and then run out that garage door. And you look, here they come out the garage door because you know these kids. See, that's another thing. You'll know which kids are there. So you pull over before you even get there. Another strategy is if there's garage sales going on, or if you see a garage sale, stop a few houses before you get to that. Mm-hmm. If you have to pretend like you're cleaning out your boxes or something, or straightening out your freezer, turn the music up a little bit and watch for people to come out. Then you start put it in drive up there to the place, and then I stop there. And they sometimes look at you like, what the hell are you stopping for? We don't want ice cream. Yeah, you want ice cream. You just don't know it yet. So I'll get out. Seriously, I'll get out and I'll go buy. Well, I try to buy something I need, but I love books. So I'll buy a 10-cent book, right? Mm-hmm. All right. This is what the ice cream man looks like when he's leaving. Bye. And they're looking at me like, okay. And then I get in my truck and I'll shut the door and I'll literally kind of flip through the book like I'm not reading it. I'm just kind of looking for it. And they'll look at me and I goes, someone might have left a couple bucks in here, as a bookmark. And then they come walking out. Next thing you know, I've just made $20. Now, that's a good investment, I think. I just spent 10 cents, right, 5 minutes, and made $20. I think that's a good return on investment. So it's a matter of slow down, let your music play, pull over every once in a while. That's the key fundamentals. It really is. Next question.
So what do you say be it a strategy? Do you believe in sitting and waiting for customers in an area, or do you believe in like stop and go? Because I done heard a lot of strategies from different ice cream drivers. Everybody got their own unique type of style in driving. Right. So what would you say would be a good strategy that you prefer?
If people have patience and perseverance, the patience to wait, the perseverance to keep going, you got to pull over every once in a while. If you're not making money, you shouldn't be driving. It's kind of funny because some guy, I said, if you aren't making money, you shouldn't be driving an ice cream truck. And the guy goes, what, am I fired? No, pull over, let your music play, wave and smile at people, okay? Don't give people the bird, okay? Smile, wave, okay? Yeah, you see these princesses and, they're in the carnival and they're waving their arm like this. At the end of the night, you should come in and say, my hand's falling off. Why? I waved at too many people. How'd you do? Much better than I have been. Yeah. Another one is body language. Oh my God. I could talk for a long time on that, but basically, this is the number one thing to do. You're driving along, you wave at someone. Maybe they got a gruff look on their face. So like, and when you wave and smile at them, they go, oh, hi. And then I'll point at them, go, you, and I'll take my thumb and point at the menu board. You want ice cream? And then you go, yeah. And sure enough, a lot of times they go, yeah, I'll be right there. Now, the bad thing is if they're old and they have to go in the house and you're like, oh my God, they're never coming back. They're trying to scrape through their bowl to get a few nickels and dimes. I'm like, maybe I should deliver like Uber or something. Just run an ice cream up there. Here, this will be a good one. But body language, real important. If you're scrunched over the steering wheel and not looking anywhere, that sends a signal. Who wants to be around that? Downy Debbie or something? It's like, no. Smile and wave, point. Hey, you want some ice cream? Yeah. And if they say no, you go, okay, see you next time, and that's what it's all about. That's strategy. That's a good
So
strategy.
when dealing with areas and work in the area and things of that nature, because a lot of times people would like, how do I know if this is a good area to go to, or how do I know I've been somewhere too long, or when it comes to there's no money in this area, or how would you gauge it if somebody was getting into business or whatever? How would they know that this is an ice cream area, or if it's just a waste of time driving in there?
First of all, spend your last dollar on a map. Now we got Google and you got the phone and all that, but nothing like a paper map. And you look at the city that you're going to go to or the city that you live in and just go, where are all the kids? They have little pictures of schools in that area. If you find an area that has 3 or 4 schools, there's probably a lot of kids in that area, especially if they're, you can go to the library and do that. You can find out where are all the schools. I one time called a school and asked them, when's the kids getting out? And the lady says, who wants to know? I'm like, oh, I'm now Mr. Creepy Guy. Oh, no, I'm the ice cream man. And I'm just wondering what time they get out so I can be there to serve them. She goes, oh, and then she got all lit up. So you got to have a good, quick answer to those stupid questions you might ask. So I called the school and they gave me and this district has this. And man, she started reading off of the numbers of kids, how many thousands of kids are at a particular school. And I'm like, wow, that lady knew her shit. But having a map and looking at it and then just circle an area and go there. Now, your first day, they're not going to come out like they know you. They're going to come out and go, who is this person? And I always, when I see a new person, hi, I'm Jimbo. I'm going to be your ice cream man. Okay. I just told them. I didn't ask. I told them I'm going to be your ice cream man. And often they go, oh, okay. Well, let me get a strawberry shortcake. Let me get a drumstick. And that was it. And the next day, guess what? Hey, Jimbo, stop. They now know your name. The familiarity thing. Because, they're trusting you with their most valuable possession, their child.
Right.
And they'll start out by coming out and seeing you, they'll look in your truck. Okay. Make sure you have a clean truck outside, but especially inside and organized. And they'll look and go, oh, that's nice. Nicer than the last truck. Okay. And if you're going to be there, and if you do good, give it a couple days and then pick the area. I've had one city where I'd hit one area and do real well, drive 5-6 blocks, hit that area, then drive a mile and then hit that area. And I was done with that city. That's the only time that I made any money there. So I literally did 3 cities piece by piece. So you got to figure it out in the spring early. And the earlier you get out, the more you're going to be the first thing that people see. When people are shopping for things, they'll go look at a car. No, I'm going to shop around. They'll go to another one. But if that first dealer gave them great attention, was nice to them, 9 times out of 10, they're going to go back and buy from that person. Why? Cars are about the same price,
When do you think it's a good time to give an area a break? Like, do you believe that somebody can hit an area every day, or do you think that sometimes you gotta have like a set schedule or as part of the season? Because I hear a lot of stories from different ice cream drivers. Oh, I can hit this spot every day, or I can do this, and So, what's your perspective on scheduling customers?
It really depends on the people. It also depends on the income level. I mean, a lower income area is going to be able to buy as often as a modestly, wealthy area. And the rich areas, forget it, man. They're not buying from nobody. Once in a while, they'll buy, and then they'll realize they just spent way more money than they wanted to because they got that expensive house, the BMW, the pool. They're paying for sports, and they got 4 kids, and they got to keep up with the Joneses. So 9 times out of 10, they won't come out all the time. It's got to be like a special event day or garage sale day or, that kind of thing. So the rich areas, and I'm not talking about like Trump's rich. I'm talking about just wealthy. And you can make a little bit of money there, but that's not your money. So if you have a very good following, just like being on social media, if you got a following, you got to feed them, And so That's an individual's decision, but most of the time it's good to give them a break, a day or two a week. I actually at this late stage in my game, I take Mondays off, and everyone takes Monday off. No, we're not doing anything Monday. Monday's my day off. It's your day off too, and very rarely will I send anyone out on a Monday. You're working all weekend. That's true. That's everyone's day off. That's really good ice cream time. Monday's kind of like a whole humbug, type thing. So take at least one day off a week. Now you're off. You're not going and bugging them. I found also, if you can, and this depends on if people have competition. If you have a lot of competition, you just got to be ahead of the competition all the time. Sometimes you go work one day, like work a Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday in one area, and the other one Thursday, Saturday, 2 days a week, and then you take Monday off. So it just depends. You'll get a feel for it. If they like you, they'll buy from you. If they don't buy from you, hey, that's their loss. I never bother. Sometimes if you're just starting, I don't go out and ask people, well, where do I get my permission? Man, I just go out and see if I can make some money there. And I've had several times cops will pull me over. And I'll just tell them without being bribery type. I just says, hey, what can I get you? Public servants get it for free. And that kind of breaks the ice a little bit. You go, you got a permit? A permit? Oh, hell, this is my first day. And then I'll explain to them. I'll say, I didn't know we needed a permit. Just dumb me up on them. And I'll say, well, where do I go to get a permit? Now they're helping you. Right. That'll give you a better chance of not getting a ticket. Rarely will you get a ticket. Now, if you want to get a ticket, you look at the cop and goes, who the hell are you? What are you pulling me over for? I got to go make some money. Leave me alone. Yeah. You're not going to get very far with that attitude. So you got to just be real nice, ask questions, let them tell you what to do. And then a lot of times, I've been told you got to leave until you get a permit. Okay, I appreciate the information. Thank you very much. I shut my music off and I don't leave. Now the dumb shits, they'll go around the corner and turn the music back on. What are you doing? The cop's not going to like that. They got to get back out of their car and say, what the hell are you doing? Here's your ticket. Okay. So, yeah, it's a matter of feeling your way through. So if I go through and I make money and I need a permit, I like to have a permit. Why? Because if some knucklehead starts getting into my case and stealing my money, like they're going to get caught and they ain't got a permit. That's going to knock them out of the box for at least a week because it takes a few days to get a permit. I have some places take almost a month. It's like, are you kidding me? But again, if they throw you out, they say, well, we don't want you here. We don't like ice cream trucks or whatever. We have a no noise ordinance. That's the one way they can get rid of you. You can't be yelling out the window ice cream. And you can't play your music. No music, no advertising, no money. So whenever I get thrown out, I don't let it affect it sometimes gets you. But it's like, that's their loss. Right. Ice cream areas are like a great big giant pie, and it's cut into so many different pieces. There is more than enough to go around. There really is. There really is. And again, you're not sitting at a corner in a sandwich shop or an ice cream shop hoping people come to you. You're bringing this ice cream to them, and they really love it, especially at night. If they're watching TV. Hey, listen, I'm going to run and get ice cream. What do you want? They run out, grab some ice cream, run back in and get back into their whatever they're watching or doing. You're bringing the fun to them. See, we're not just delivering ice cream. We're delivering fun and excitement.
On that point, I was going to say, where do you see the ice cream industry moving maybe in the next 10 years? Do you believe that it's going to be a business that's going to continue to last? Or where do you see the ice cream business moving forward as an industry?
Okay, that's up to the ice cream people. And on top of it, there are some ice cream people that are so bad that some cops get called so often that they go to the city hall and say, listen, I don't really like doing cops and robbers and shooting at people and get shot at. But man, I'm out there every day. This guy is causing trouble. And the city hall goes, okay, no noise ordinance. we're not having ice cream trucks here anymore. It's like, what? Another situation. A kid got hit by an ice cream truck in this little town around here, little town. And it was actually pretty good. Every time someone wanders in there, I mean, like the SWAT team shows up. It's like, what? Yeah, a kid got killed by an ice cream truck. We don't want any ice cream trucks here. I'm like, even the kids know, oh, it's bad to have the ice cream truck here. And they call cops on you. It's like, are you kidding me? This is something out of the Twilight Zone. Oh, my God. I mean, it's unbelievable. Now, someone had that problem in a city, and it was a very good city. And they says, well, you know, they took it to court. They said, this is an unjust thing, trying to get rid of us. So if you're basing the fact that one kid got killed, which is terrible, and you're going to shut down this business, well, I think what you have to do is you close all the public swimming pools, because more kids die of drowning than ice cream trucks.
Right.
And they took it to the next court because they couldn't decide. And they reinstated the ice cream truck. And guess what happened? That one person had that whole town to themselves for the longest time because no one knew that policy had changed. And it's like, oh, my God. But, you know, for one reason or another, that'll happen. But to answer your question about where do I see the ice cream company going? And I've heard people saying, this is not going to last. 40 years ago. They're never going to buy the ice cream at that price. You know, the Ninja Turtle started at $1, went to $1.50. Now it's $5. I think SpongeBob now you can't even buy it. It's so expensive. You can't sell it for $5 and turn a profit. They're way off the chart selling you the ice cream, and then you got to mark it up. It really should be about $7 or $8 for SpongeBob. I'm like, wow. So I don't even carry it. I mean, if there's no margin, there's no mission. Right. Okay, that's a principle. That's a business principle. No margin, no mission. Okay, but the prices have been going up and up and up and up. And one guy told me, you know, I sometimes go to the events when the National Association of Ice Cream Vendors has their yearly event, you know, golf tournaments and all that. I don't do the golfing anymore, but I've went to a few of their deals. And you go to these different lecture areas, and they give you lectures and give you really good advice. It's a lot of money, but I didn't have nowhere else to go at the time. So I went to Florida. Kind of funny because I pulled up with my brand new van, custom Tierra motor coach. I'm like, I got the best thing. I pull up and there's a Lamborghini there. There's Ferraris. I'm thinking, well, shit, I feel like I'm driving a Pinto. What the hell? You know, because some of these guys make a lot of money. And I'm like, I'm a little guy, you know, 20, 30 trucks. I'm a little guy compared to them. Did you know that Good Humor, when they were in Detroit, and if you look up Good Humor pictures, they had hundreds and hundreds of trucks.
Are you serious?
These people wore uniforms. They were nice. And, oh, my God, they were trained. But, oh, my God, I've seen a picture of the Good Humor thing. And it's kind of went downhill, but it's never going to disappear. They said, the movies are going to be more and more expensive. They're going to price their way out of business. I mean, what was it, $1 matinee at one time? Now it's a $5 matinee. A regular movie, $10, $15 used to be $2. They're still going to go to the movie. They're just going to pay more. People are still going to come out and buy ice cream. And the biggest problem is the discrepancy between the independent and then the businesses. The independent, I throw away a lot of ice cream, by the way. If it gets messed up or melted, right in the dumpster, and it breaks my heart. It's like, yeah, Jesus, I just bought that shit. I got to throw it away now. I don't sell this. This kid comes up to my truck and he goes, "Do you have smushies?" And I'm like, I thought maybe he didn't have his 2 front teeth in. I said, What did you say? Do you got smushies? What's a smushy? It's where like maybe it gets melted a little and then you refreeze it and give it to us at a discount. I'm like, no, I throw that away. Really? They're like shocked that I would throw away a smushy. And so that's the kind of crap that what parents see and say, oh, no. All they're going to say is, no, we're not buying off of that truck. We got the Jimbo truck. They always have good product. They have any problems, they know who to come to. That's the people that are going to last. I mean, think about it. I've been in Dayton since 91 or 92. Mm-hmm. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? I'm going to do another video. I got some videos. By the way, I'm going to show you some stuff here. First of all, I have two booklets.
Okay.
One is the Ice Cream Truck Helpful Hints Sales and Customer Service Guide.
Okay.
It was so popular, I put it on eBay and sold that. And as a freebie, I gave away this book, which is the Safety Guide for Ice Cream Vending. And it's got really good stuff in it. Actually, it cost me more to print it than I'm able to profit on it. So, yeah. And in the process,
So
I have probably 8 videos and CDs and stuff like that I also copied. And I was going to put it on eBay digitally, but then they said, no, you can't. You got to have a physical product. I'm like, man, I can't make any money until it's like 40, 50 bucks. And the auction was doing okay and stuff. So each March, no, not in March, in February, I put it on eBay, and I used to do okay. You know, I'd send 10, 15, 20 copies. And it was a package. You know, shipping's expensive too. So I haven't done it for a few years. But for anybody that wants to deal with this, get your pencil and paper ready. You can Gmail me. Yeah, email me. Don't text me. I'm not giving out my phone number. But and let me know you're interested, and then I'll send you a notice when I'm putting it on eBay. Now, most of the time I put a reserve on there. I mean, the minimum's like $30. I mean, and then I make a few bucks. And Candy's been nice enough to do this stuff. I'm going to tear him off a little bit of something. Because, you know, everyone talks about, oh, you got to monetize this. You got to monetize that. Some things you just don't sell. But you can't give stuff away either. Some guy said, I'm going to sell ice cream, but I'm going to give most of it away. I said, you're not going to be in business for very long. Yeah. I mean, some people get this idea that they know what the hell they're talking about before they even know what they're talking about. And yeah, that's a pain in my tuka.
That's the whole reason I want to bring on actual ice cream truck drivers and ice cream truck men that, you know, have experience, because a lot of people, they say a lot about ice cream, but they don't know nothing about ice cream. Like, so
right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, you know, I just try to get them informed as to what it is to sell ice cream. And they either get it or they don't get it, you know. And when I put the trackers on there, that made that evaluation time a lot shorter, because I could see, oh, they went out, they come and got their truck and they went straight home and they were there for 3 hours. Then they went out for 4 hours. Didn't make shit. I mean, they made some money, but it's like they had excuses. You know, I find the people that don't do very well have a lot of excuses. You know, the people who make a lot of money, they don't need any excuses. They got results. So, but anyway, this here is my pride and joy. And there's a lot of stuff in here. And the thing is, this is actually my training guide for training the drivers. So I read through this and put it on a CD. I would read like, this one little section, and then I would elaborate on it, an extra little information, why I'm saying this. You know, it's just, you know, use your mirror, glance quickly on both sides, you know, see if there's any customers that you may have passed by. You got this guy running behind you, and it's like, they don't want to do that. Stop, let them catch up with you. Yeah.
And what did you say that your website, you guys' website are? Because I'm gonna share my screen and then I'm gonna post it up so people can see your truck as well.
Okay. Let's see. Shelley's Ice Cream Treats.com is for the special event trucks mainly. My Gmail is jimgf57@gmail.com. Let me say it slower. Jim, Jim, GF, Gordon, Frank, 57. That's the year I was born, 57. And then at gmail.com. So jimgf57@gmail.com. Just send me a little note. And, you know, if you have questions, I can't sit on the computer and just go crazy. You know, I do leadership. My wife does management. And, you know, I can't do a lot of this management stuff. I got so many things to do. Actually, I got a very messy warehouse.
You guys have a actual picture of the ice cream truck?
It's on one of them pages. Mostly, it's like we went to the college and these kids came out and bought ice cream. You can see the truck. We redid the whole website for a lot of money, and but you'd have to go page by page. People could just go there and see them, and that's a very nice transit. That's for doing special events. And I think on the side says we share memories, one ice cream party at a time or something. That's the kind of the mission statement, you know. And
Shelly,
SHELLYS.
SHELLYS.
icecreamtrucks.com.
It's all one word.
Yeah, all together, no spaces, no exclamation point, no any of that stuff.
Let's see. Well, I'm gonna put it in I don't know. SHELLYS.
Yeah. Ice cream trucks.
Icecreamtrucks.com.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta check it. Those all gotta be correct.
I'm gonna try to put it in there. SHELLYS.
Yeah.
Okay. Ice cream trucks.
It's Shelly's Ice Cream Trucks. Man, I don't know if I have a picture of it here somewhere.
But if not, it's cool. We'll put it in the link. I'll put it in the comments, and then if anybody want to go and check it out, they can.
Sure, absolutely. They might be doing maintenance on that as well. Who knows? This time of year, it's not really a very active site.
Okay.
We don't have ice cream trucks going out, so that's that. What else was I going to say? Yeah, you had mentioned something about possibly getting another list of questions and maybe do another hour sometime a couple weeks from now or whatever. And this is the time of year, February. You have to be preparing to do the ice cream business. Don't wait till summer gets here and then say, "Oh, I'm going to get an ice cream truck." No. In life, we're doing one of two things. We're either preparing or we're repairing. If you're preparing, it's kind of funny because I was so poor when I was a kid. I got to go to the Boy Scouts because they had a poor person group. And I'm like, I don't want to be in that group. Don't tell anyone I'm broke because see, I can fight and they won't like that part. Because no one's going to call me and come on my face and they're better than me. No, we're all the same. It's just what you do with that same that matters. But so my wife says I'm her country bumpkin Boy Scout. It took a while to get used to it because I am a country bumpkin and I was a Boy Scout. I mean, that's a great organization. It's kind of funny though, because when I went to the Boy Scouts, they were teaching us how to catch rabbits. Hey, let me show you how that's done. They were showing us how to start fires. Hey, let me show you how to do it. Finally, they just put me in charge of all that, showing kids how to start a fire, how to catch a rabbit. Well, I'm not eating the rabbit. I'm going to let it go, but I caught it. Oh, man. But back to the point on, we can do this again sometime. If people need to contact you, get on Facebook and say, hey, that was okay. The guy talked a little bit too much, but I've always got stories, like I said, I used to be a real introvert. But then once I had something to say and, a lot of people have a lot to say, but they don't know what they're saying. I know what I'm saying. I know what I'm doing. Not to brag or anything, but someone said, I don't know what situation we was in a group setting or something. And, someone said, yeah, you're pretty smart about this. I said, I better be, having done it this many years. If you don't know a lot about something and you've been doing it for 20, 30, 40 years, there's something wrong there. You know what I mean? So they said, yeah, Jimbo's forgotten more than anyone will ever know. And I'm like, Yeah, that's hilarious. Everyone was laughing about that, but it's kind of true. And I don't think about things until someone maybe brings it up, and then I'll say, "Oh yeah," and I'll go back to my memory of what I was doing at that time. So um, I would like to share some of my knowledge with people. I can't really wait until I officially retire. I told my wife I was thinking of retiring. She says, "You're not retired. You're retarded. We're making money and we're going to keep doing this." I'm like, "Oh, man. Come on, honey. Can't you be nice?" But she means it all in jest. But yeah, that's kind of like I should have been retired quite a while ago. And I guess I could have and maybe do something as a hobby because I'm actually in the process of writing multiple books about the ice cream business.
Mhm.
And my business partner said, if you wrote a book about everything you knew about the ice cream truck, it'd be the size of War and Peace. I'm like, huh? And I had to think about that. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a big book. If you go into a library and ask, where's War and Peace? They usually have it on a platform and it's opened up and it's just a gigantic book that would take forever. I think it's like, I don't know, 5,000 pages long or something ridiculous. So I can't really write a book about everything in one book. So I ran into this one company that says Shook, 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 small, short, helpful books. They abbreviated it. And I thought, and I called the guy and, he teaches the thing. So I bought some of his stuff and it teaches you how to make a little ebook, maybe 35, 40 pages long. I'm like, yeah, that's not much. He said, that's all you need to get across one point. And he gave me advice. He says, well, okay, what do people need to do an ice cream business? Well, they need the truck and they need a freezer. So I can put that in one book. Where to go if you want to buy a freezer, how to shop for one, what to look for when you find one, and a truck. What kind of truck is the best? I think a Ford van's the best because you're sitting in the front and you can just swing your knee past it. Whereas the Dodge, boy, you're going to bust your kneecap every time because that doghouse or the engine cover is right on top of you. Okay. The truck we use, the Ford Transit, it's kind of difficult to get past the middle of that seat if you're on the streets. But for a special event, you pull up, turn your music on, you climb in the back, and you start serving people. You're there for a couple hours. All right. So different trucks will serve you in different ways. And now, actually, believe it or not, I was looking at this Chevy electric truck. I'm like, oh my God, sometimes we'll spend $40, $50 on gas in a day to do a special event because we have to have the motor running and run the air conditioner. We have to drive somewhere, which is usually distant. And it's like, oh my God. And then if we get done early, she says, let's go over to so-and-so and see if we can sell some ice cream. I'm like, man, I'm ready to go to dinner. All right. And I always bring a sandwich with me because he's always got that idea. Let's work just a little bit more. Well, when I fall over dead, you'll know that was a little too much more. But yeah, the book would be one book, one book would be an introduction to the ice cream business, kind of like what we're doing here, talking about all the general stuff, what you need to do, what type of personality and all that. But then I got another one I'm working on about how to put together an ice cream truck. And in there in the back part of it, like, how do you find where to get ice cream? With Google and all this stuff, you could find almost anything, anywhere. But for a book, you're going to spend, I don't know, $3 or $4 for, and you got all the information there. How much searching you want to do to save $3 or $4?
Right.
So that's part two. Part one would be introduction. Part two would be some people need to get a truck. Okay, then there would be dealing with people. How to customer service and all that stuff. And I'm just giving you a general idea, but there's about 10 little mini books on it. Now, you'll also notice I have a green book that makes you money. But first, you got a yellow book. That's for safety. And then what do you look at for when you go to look for a car? The value, right? And what do they call that? The blue book. So I'm going to do a blue book on value to the marketplace. How you should, all the little intricacies, some of the stuff I talked about today about, what to do, why to do, not only just what to do, but why to do it.
Right.
And that's the first thing. Why do you want to do this? Okay, this is what to do and how to do. And then you got it. Once you know why you're doing something or want to do something, the whole process is a lot easier. You get that automatic energy to do it. You're like, I'm going to do this. Then when you start having fun doing it, like this kid, when I was working on bicycles, he had messed up. He was a little rich kid around there, but nice kid, but he had this beat up bicycle with the front wheel was bent. And he comes up and he's carrying this bike. He goes, can you help me fix this bike? I hate it when people ask me that because, see, can is a question of ability. Yeah, I can do it, but I won't because I'm working on this other bike and they're going to pay me. Well, my dad will pay you. And my ears, like a little bunny rabbit, stuck up. I go, oh, well, that'll work. So I went over to the house, talked to the guy. We agreed on a price, and I was going to put a new wheel on the front and stuff. And I look over in the corner. And it's a really nice house. I mean, you mean you got your own bedroom? You don't have to share your bedroom with 3 other brothers? Wow. So over in the corner in the garage where Dad was working on his car, I'm like, is that a bike there? Is that a bike? What, why? Yeah, I bought him that because he has this old beat up bike, but when did you buy it? Oh, I got it for him for Christmas. It's like April. He ain't even opened the box yet. And I'm like wanting to smack this kid. Some rich kids, you just got to smack them just to make yourself feel good. And so I'm like, he didn't pull it. Yeah, he don't really want a new bike. He likes his bike. That's why I'll pay you to fix the bike. I'm like, really? He looked at me. The old man looked at me and goes, you want to buy it? And back then, $10 was a lot of money. $20, like you're rich. You got a $20 bill back then? I think it was in the mid 60s. I must have been all of 7 years old. I'm like, yeah, give me $10 for it. I'm like, man, I was in my pocket and grabbed $10 and he says, well, give me a minute. I'll put it in the pickup and take it over to your house. I put that bike together. That was my very first brand new Schwinn bicycle. It was a 20-inch, had a banana seat, high handlebars. I'm like, man, I had died and went to heaven. I'm like, this kid got this brand new bike and he don't like it. Man, how about if I starve you for a few days and then put a potato in front of you? Watch you eat that potato real good. What do you mean you don't like potatoes?
So going into the your memorable moments, what would you say that this would be my number? Well, you can give two or three, but memorable moments since you've been in the whole ice cream industry, like this was like a memorable moment I will never forget.
There's multiple times when kids say something to you and you're busy, you're getting the ice cream. Well, okay, who's next? And this kid come up, he didn't have 2 front teeth, right? And he come up to me and goes, do you take Totals? I was in Detroit at the time. And back then, I'm telling you right now, there was none of this racial shit going on. And oh my God, I can't get over that. But back then, everyone was cool. You didn't look at color or anything, Mexicans, women, girls, anything. They're all the same. There's people. This kid comes up and he's a straggler and he goes, you take Totals? And I had to stop. Totals. What's a total? And he holds up this dollar bill that's torn in half. Toe in half. I'm like, yeah, give me the money. It was that's just the little times, the little unspoken, unbidden things that happen that you go, huh? It wakes you out of your trance because you get into a trance and you get into getting the ice cream and you're shaking and moving and making money. But the really number one thing that was really cool is when I finally got my ice cream truck together and I went out the very first day and I made money.
Wow.
Now I'm going to freak you out here because I bought a house when I was driving my ice cream truck. I seen this little sign that nobody could read. I'm like, is that for rent or for sale? And I stopped to look and this old man come out. He goes, You got fudgesicles? I says, oh, yeah. An ice cream truck isn't an ice cream truck without a fudgesicle. You got to have fudgesicles. Well, how many would you like? Oh, give me 5 of them. Back then, they were like a quarter. Are you kidding me? Ooh, yeah, man. Shit. I think I gave them 5 for $1 or some shit. But, and he looked at me, he goes, want to buy a house? I'm like it was an apple or something. I'm like, doing that. I'm living in an apartment and I'm spending $350 a month, and I can't work on my truck there. I can't do anything there. I had to park my truck somewhere else. My car had a flat tire. They got pissy about me fixing the tire. And when I took the tire off, of course, I was checking the brakes, and they're like, well, you can't work on your car here. I'm like, oh, you can't run that extension cord across the sidewalk. Can I fart? I was just like, man, what can't I do? I want to know what can I do. So, so when I ran into this house, I'm like, that's an idea. And I was looking at, house value 25,000 maybe. And it was a dinky little place. And he goes, would you give me 15,000? And I'm thinking, dollars? 15,000? And it just didn't sound right, And so I said, well, let me pull in your driveway and you can show me around. So I went in and I went into his back garage, and it was just a dinky little place, old people's house, and he had raised 5 kids in this house, 2 bedrooms. It's like, man, a teeny little house. But guess what? There's only one of me. And I says, well, look, he says, well, we have to do a land contract and he started naming things that was wrong with the house. I'm like, man, you're not a very good salesman. I wouldn't tell me about that, But I bought the house. I gave him a couple $1,000s down, which was a lot of money at the time. And then we did an amortization. I had a real fancy computer, Apple II Plus. Most people say, what's that? And it did an amortization, $163.50 a month. 106. And I remember that as if it was yesterday, because I decided, it was like an 8-year contract. I was going to pay it off in 2 or 3 years. And I did. Because like every month I'd send them an extra 500. And every month I had to reproduce another amortization because, the 163 something, I think $30 was part of the interest and the rest went on the principal, pay for the house. And that extra 500 was a big chunk off of that. So less than 3 years, I owned my own house, running 5 trucks out of there. 5. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that was, when I realized that I could go out in one day and pay all my expenses for the month.
Wow.
You got, even cable was only $30. Electric was like $50. My taxes per year were like $150 or $200. Water bill was nothing. Okay. I'm like, yeah, this will work. Okay. When typically, what do they say? Your house payment should be 1 week of the whole month. Your paycheck for that's your house payment. And that's the way to stay financially. I'm not a financial guru, but I'm pretty good at saving money. Why? Because I don't want nothing. I only buy the shit I need. And now that I'm older and I've saved some money, I'm like, man, I'm not leaving this money to nobody. I'm going to spend it on me. There's 3 people I'm going to spend that money on, me, myself, and I. Now, I'm very charitable, actually, to my family and friends and, of course, my wife. You should have seen the ring I got her. Wow. Oh, shit. They said, what did they say? You should spend 10% of your income on a ring. Wow. Because I looked this shit up. I'm like, I'm with her for about a year, and I'm like, man, this is the one to keep. She got no baggage, don't want no kids. I mean, she likes kids, but she don't want no kids, and she don't need anything. And I'm like, yeah, this is the one. I mean, love and all that, hearts and all that's fine, but you got to be practical too. And I've been with a lot of girls that were like, oh my God, can you just shoot me? Okay. I'm trying to do something here. Go do your thing. Leave me alone for a minute. But there was a lot of them that just didn't have the same vision I did. But yeah. Yeah.
So all in all, what do you take out of someone that is interested? So just to basically sum it all up, what would you say what would be the things they'd be looking to get into? What would be the things to keep pushing through, like if they are into the business, and what would be the light at the end of the tunnel, since you done experienced pretty much everything an ice cream man can experience? What would
That,
be the whole sum of it all?
that's a big one. And because we've been on this for about an hour and a half, I would say I'd like to sum things up with little how to do's, 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 steps to do something. But I'm going to keep this to just 2 things: patience and perseverance. You have to have the patience to learn the things you need to know, and to know when you're, oh, I thought that would work that way. No, I guess I'm wrong. To be able to say, I guess I'm wrong, I have hardly heard that anywhere. People are like, no, you just got to do it this way. You got to do it that way. And I'm like, go do it your way. Just stay away from me. Okay. Patience to learn what you need to do. Try things. Patience and perseverance. Try it this way. Try it that way. Take it from this way. Look at it the other way. Don't just say, well, I tried it twice, I'll give up. That's not perseverance, man. Sticking with things, that's easier said than done. So patience and perseverance. As far as someone getting a truck, if someone said, what should I, I'm standing in line and it's like, you the ice cream man? Yeah, I'm the ice cream man. And how can I get in that business? Well, yeah, that's what do we got? 3 minutes here? No. Some of them guys, I would just tell them, just get a truck, get a freezer, buy some ice cream, get them, go buy one of them $10 music boxes and play it and drive down the street, pull over at a while. Make sure you have change. Some people go off with like $10 in their money box. I'm like, that's going to suck. Someone's going to hit them with a 50 and they ain't going to be, I want $20 ice cream. Here's a 50. You don't got change for a 50. Oh, yeah. That'll work once. Then you go home and get some money. I ain't got no money at home. Okay, well, you need a few bucks to start. Okay. Get the support of your family. That's kind of important. But only if you're real serious about trying this, and know that you have to pay them back if you have to borrow. That's why borrowing is the biggest thing people do, and a lot of people borrow without thinking about it. But this will give you a good return on your investment if you have patience and perseverance. And that's where it's at. Patience and perseverance. Next question.
So at the on side of looking into getting into the business, what do you say how much one would probably need, like at bare minimum?
A couple 100,000. Just kidding. George inherited 200,000 and he spent it all in the ice cream business. But he's still in it. He's an okay guy. He rubs me the wrong way a little bit. He's an okay guy. But that's at the high end. Now, if you're just doing it low budget, really, I want to go take a step back and say, find wherever city you're in, find somewhere that has ice cream trucks, go in and work for them for a little while. Of course, you're going to do it because you want to know whether you can do it. So you got to be able to put up with a lot of stuff, and you got to be able to just stick with it, perseverance, and try that for a while, and then and do a whole season. If you can't do a whole season, you shouldn't be doing this business, because this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. This is a marathon. You got to run. You got to save that energy and just hit the ground running. But learn what you can from other people. Then say, how can I make that my plan? Now, you don't want to hijack the guy's routes and, get in front of him and do all that stuff. That's, you got to do the right thing. They were talking on the History Channel about the reason why a lot of these regimes did not last, because they were not based on sound principles. They were not based on, reality, for one, and they were doing all the wrong stuff. And then people said, no. We ain't going to put up with it. And then you get a revolt, and then the whole thing falls apart. Now you're talking about socialism, communism. That doesn't work here. It might work somewhere else, but it doesn't work here. All right. Germany, that whole Germany thing, the war and stuff, it was never going to last. It was never going to work. You can't conquer a people and say, oh, now they're going to follow me. No, they're going to follow you just long enough to stick you in the back. Okay. So, you got to do the right thing for the right reason and do it consistently. So doing the ice cream business, that's one of the few things that whenever someone talks about the ice cream truck, they're like, it's fond memories. There's so many more fond memories. I remember when the ice cream truck used, when we do special events, they come up, they go, I remember the ice cream truck used to come around. They don't come around our area. I'm like, oh, that's a shame, but we're here now. And they really, really, really enjoyed it. And why do we keep getting called back to some of these places? Because their people loved it. I mean, give me a break. It's $3, $4, $5 for 200 people. How much do you think it would cost for a meal for each one of them? About $20, even if you have it catered. And some places do both. And you have to know this business so well that when someone says, hey, can you come over and do a birthday party? It's 20 people. For one truck, that's okay. Not for us. We like have a minimum. And I'm not going to talk about that. It's a lot of money. But we serve people, and we have references that rave about us. They just say, oh my God, yeah, Shelly. It's all about Shelly. It ain't about Jimbo. And as you can see, I'm kind of, I don't want to say I'm high on myself, but I know a lot about this, but that doesn't make me better than Shelly. She's just really good at this. She's really good with the kids. She knows how to talk to executives. And, when she talks to them, and sometimes I'm like on the other side of the room at my desk, and I'm just being quiet, listening. And the way she talks with them and makes them feel, that actually makes them feel stupid if they say no. And she always ends with, well, think about it, get back with me. And then she does the close, which is to say, I'm just penciling people in. I like that because you can erase it. But, if you wait too long, and then that weekend that you got to have us that weekend, and I have like a wedding, it's just really hard to get them to change their wedding plans. I mean, once the wedding's set, that's it. I can't change that. Then she says, but I can send my husband. Oh no, we want you. Oh, thanks. Yeah, they don't want me. They want her. Because she's really good with people. And sometimes she gets on my nerves. Who doesn't, right? But yeah, doing this business, you really, really, really have to have a plan. And it's got to be something you really want to do. So that's why I say, getting back to what I originally said, if you can, and if there's a company in your area, get out there as soon as the sun comes out, and just knock on the door and say, hey, I'm thinking of, driving an ice cream truck. And if they've, read through some of my materials or studied it, and you show up and say, yeah, I can do this. Someone in, Dayton, Ohio had this, and they told me it was a good idea, and I can do this and I can do that. You know what a job is? You can get that job if they have a truck. You can get the job, but you know what a job is? It's a problem, and the person that has the solution to that problem gets the job.
Right.
I actually had a time when I worked for this company that helped people during the economic bad times how to get jobs, and that's what I taught them. We started right there. All you need to do is find out about that. Do you want to work at that company? What do they do? Who works there? What kind of attitude? What kind of environment are there? How many hours? Are you willing to do overtime? I always was willing to do overtime. I was getting ready to get on my Harley. Beautiful day. And the guy goes, hey, Jim, come here. I got to talk to you. I got this machine that's down, and it's going to take a couple hours. And I'm looking out there the window at my Harley and looking at him, and I'm going, oh, this is a tough one. He pulled $100 bill out of his wallet. Now, I was getting $300-400 a week. I'm going to spend 4 hours. He's going to give me $100 bill. I said, okay. But it was beyond the money. It was, I'm going to make him a lot of money when I fix this machine, because that machine's running and it broke down. And the other guy said, nah, I'm going home. Guess who gets the raise? Guess who, if they lay off, they're going to get rid of? They're not going to get rid of me. No. Because when you add value to the marketplace, you always get the job. You're the last one to get laid off. They treat you, or they should treat you, with great respect and admiration. And I would joke with him. I go, I don't know. I got to go talk with my bike. It's going to be disappointed, but yeah, I'll be right back. I joke about these things, but these are real serious issues. Being able to go somewhere and just show up and say, hey, I want to drive an ice cream truck. And why should I hire you? That's the first thing. They said, who are you? Do you have a criminal record? And if you do you have a good excuse? What happened? I hired a guy that went to prison. He had killed somebody.
Oh my goodness.
He's passed away. He was in Akron, and this guy was like chiseled out of stone. I'm looking at this guy and I'm going, man, I don't want to fight this guy ever. He's bad. I mean, he's like Rocky, man, you know. And he come in and he goes, I was thinking of driving an ice cream truck. And I'm like, okay. And you know, my business partner wasn't there, so I was like, okay, what's the deal? He says, well, I'm gonna tell you, I went to prison, I had to kill somebody, but I won't do it again. And then just I'm like, that's good that you're not going to kill anybody. And I'm like doing this interview, trying to be kind of nice and stuff. What happened? He says, well, we was at the bar and some guy was messing with my woman. I took a pool ball and threw it at him and they killed him. And then I thought, good for you. Don't mess with my woman, man. What do you? And I'm thinking, then they messed with you? They must have been really drunk and stupid or both. But yeah, he was a good driver. I said, you know, and I just told him about the kids. He goes, I got grandkids and this would be fun. I'm like, yeah, that's it. It's going to be, if you like your job, if it's fun, you'll never want to quit. That's my problem right now. I'm having too much fun. And so I'm like, God dang. I'm waiting to roll out in a wheelchair and say, I'm ready to go to work. You know, you know, I when you see my videos, and they have done this to me, the new people, they look at me and they look at I got this gray hair going on. Okay. I got nothing but gray hair. Okay. It just happens. My dad was gray by 25. So I'm like, okay, good. I lasted longer than that. And I just thought, I do this video and if my hair is all dark and, you know, I'm a little more handsome back then and in good shape. And I'm doing this video about the ice cream business, which is related to the Helpful Hints book. And they're looking at this and I just look at them and go, yeah, that was me. Yeah, that was me. And I tell you what, I'm just dying to do my last video. And that would be, I'm going to get dressed up like Einstein with the hair all screwy and the mustache and come out. And the first thing I'm going to say, I'm the ice cream man. And, you know, I've been doing this for 50 years and I thought about retiring, but I'm back. You know, that would be great. That would be all, you know, old and come out in a wheelchair. You know, I don't know. It'd be politically too incorrect, but I could see the humor in that. They can't get rid of me. I'll come back. But anyway, yeah, it was great. It's been great talking with you and stuff. And hopefully your people got something out of it and maybe it made them laugh a little.
I got a lot out of it myself. And then he read so much to people. It's like, man, it was just a blessing to be able to sit and listen to all his knowledge and wisdom. And like I said, I'm gonna bring on, you know, more and more people, but I would love to have you back on as well.
Sure,
and,
sure.
You know, like I said, when it comes to this business and, you know, things of that nature, it's just so much information that one can get in too many styles. So
right.
Yeah, we can do it again whenever, you know, you're free.
Okay. And like I say, just keep in touch with your people on Facebook and give them a couple days notice. We'll talk later about it. But it's cool. It's cool. I enjoy sharing this information. And actually, I look back at and you say, what's the best times? They were always good times. You know, well, there's a statement that said, and this was true throughout the ages. It was the best of times and it was the worst of times. I can't think about who said that. But yeah, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. You know, I really hate it when people say the good old days. Let me tell you, the old days weren't that good. They didn't have internet. They didn't have Ferraris. Okay. All right. The ice cream man didn't have no teeth and he spit tobacco. That the good old days. What's so good about the old days? Everything's just getting so much better and better and better. But as far as the ice cream business, I don't really see it going away. I see little cities maybe shutting us down, but you got, you know, like the downriver area by Detroit, 34 cities downriver. You got 34 cities to choose from. That was in Michigan. Here you got so many. And, you know, Cincinnati is so much bigger than Dayton. I mean, I've got this little teeny rock that I'm working out of. I'm like, okay, but I've lasted the test of time. And that says something about the ice cream business itself. And so if you're a good operator and you do the right thing, that all comes from having done the ice cream business, having drove the ice cream truck. In fact, sometimes I'll look out there. I don't know if you guys remember the Castaway with what's his name? He played Forrest Gump. And someone was like, "What's that?" That's been a while ago. But he's sitting on his island. He's marooned there, and he's trying to figure out how he's going to get his next meal. And he hears this thump, and he looks around. And he goes, "Who's there? Who's there?" And it was these coconuts. These coconuts were falling out of the trees and stuff. So I'm out there working on something, and one of the trucks was sitting in. And in the back of my head, my truck was telling me, "Hey, Jimbo, over here. You know, I'm potential that you could be using now. You can fix that toilet later. You can fix that. You can sort your tools all you want all night. I don't care. But you got a truck here. You go right around the corner, put $200, $300, $400 in your pocket. Come on, let's go." And I'm looking at my truck and it's talking to me. Now you know I'm nuts.
Right.
I got out my music. I got my box of money. It gave me a sandwich, an apple, and I jumped on that truck and I made a couple $100 in like 3 hours, which was not a lot of money, but I just went around the corner and said, "Jing-a-ling-a-ling." And I enjoyed that time a whole lot better than fixing a toilet, a whole lot better than sorting my tools. And nap, I didn't need a nap. But yeah, that's when you know you got something, where you go do something that other people are trying to avoid, work, but work becomes play. Okay. Once you start enjoying your job, even if it's any other job, it's no longer work. Work's a bad word. I mean, think about it. It's a 4-letter word, right? So if you really enjoy what you're doing, you'll never work a day in your life. But yeah, this is one of those things. If you get into it, if you can kind of get the mindset or the paradigm of what to do, how to do it, but more importantly, why to do it. And I'll leave you at that, okay?
All right. Well, thanks, guys, for tuning into this channel. And this is why we bring this to you guys, is that we want to bring light to the ice cream business. We want to bring it back to its glory days, back to the days when people remember an ice cream truck and the joy that it brings to you guys. So it's been a pleasure in bringing Jim on to the channel. Look like we got somebody in the comments. It says, "Take the ice cream sales as a job and not as a hobby." Oh, who is this?
Yeah. Definitely, howdy. It's a job.
It says, "Howdy, chowder, howdy."
Yeah, it's not a hobby. I've never said it was a hobby. Okay, some people take it as that. And in fact, there's a lot of people, sorry to say, they go out and make enough money for right now. They don't think about tomorrow. Because see, sometimes you work enough to get today's money and then it rains for 3 days. Nobody's going to buy ice cream. It's cold, rain. No. Always got to be thinking of tomorrow. Yes, it is a job. But a job is not a job if you enjoy it. Yeah, that was a good comment, though. Yeah. Don't take it as a hobby. Take it as a job. Absolutely.
But yeah.
Right. Any other comments there?
I think that's last. Yeah, that was the last comment that was put in. But we're going to get more people.
We got all one of them, huh?
Yeah, and like I said, what we're going to do is we're going to put information in the link or whatever. If you want anybody to reach out to you, you can put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description.
Right.
And I guess that's pretty much it until next time.
Sure. Yeah, we'll do it again and tell your people I appreciate them watching. Okay?
All right. See you guys later. Have a good one.
Take care. Thanks, man.